Some people can say, well, I don't like that. Okay, I understand. But to be very honest with you, when it comes to the morality of certain nations, the health of certain nations, the overall survival potential, they completely outshine the United States. The average 5-year-old.
Yo, Gorski. Bitch, I'm riding with the pistol grip, blowed out, smoked out, riding with the pistol grip. Don't speak on duality, you don't know what the difference is. Pull up on the fallacy and slice it till it's dripping shit. Yeah. Shorty always been a problem child, talking crazy on my name, send bullets through your domicile. Bitch, I dominate my whole entire fucking lane a while. Bitch, we ain't the same, I make it rain while turning up the dial. I've been running for a fucking while. Ran into so much shit, I seen hurdles on my fucking miles. Holding up so much shit, I put 30 in a fucking pile. Gotta keep my soul, can I trade it for Masonic vows? Yeah. Yo, Gorski. But I'm stepping on Masonic tiles. Never gave a fuck, I put the fuck up on the juvenile. Never had no luck, I got my luck up, placed it in a file. Bitches acting stuck up, get them plucked up with a simple smile, yeah. YungSchwetzel, weaving in and out of dreams. Can't sit at my table, you ain't working for the team. Systems get disabled, I finagled up a scheme. I enable my defeat, I expand across ravines. I ain't looking how you looking, bitch, I'm shining with the gleam. Yo, Gorski. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure my shit is paused over here. Welcome back to the communication station, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we don't have our fucking ambiance lights on today. We're just gonna keep it short, sweet, and simple. Don't even really feel like looking for the fucking remote to the goddamn lights at this point, if we're being quite honest. So, yeah, we just gonna get straight into this shit today. Y'all know how we've been doing on the live streams here lately. We get straight into it. So, anyways, today what we're gonna be talking about is the ego, self-identification, and how to actually develop strength. And you'll understand why I put these things together in the way that I put them together here in a moment, once we actually get into it. Oh shit, I can't even look at the title because fucking my computer's been acting weird lately. But fuck it, we in here, we know what we doing. Let's fucking find the title on the goddamn phone real quick, just so we know. Make sure we ain't telling y'all no fucking weird information. Yeah, okay. Ego, personal identity, and how to develop strength. Like I said, once we get into the video a little bit further, you guys will understand why I titled it in the manner in which I titled it, and you'll understand how they tie together, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to talk about today is these things, and it's gonna, what at the end of it, it's gonna help you learn how to develop strength in certain areas. You get what I'm saying? So first we need to define and understand what the ego is in the first place. You get what I'm saying? Now you can develop an ego off of basically anything. That's why I titled it the way that I titled it. Ego essentially comes down to what you can set up a personal identity around. You get what I'm saying? That's where the ego comes from, and that is what the ego continues to be fed by. You get what I'm saying? Whether that be a character, characteristics, traits as a person, a whole multitude of many things. You get what I'm saying? But excuse me, it plays out specifically through the things that you can set up some type of personal identity around. You get what I'm saying? That's what the ego lives through, and that's what the ego is fed through. You get what I'm saying? Now, a lot of the time, people will set up harmful egos for themselves. You know what I'm saying? People will identify with, let's see if I can give y'all a pretty good concise example. Like for example, you'll have somebody who will identify with suffering or some shit like that, or identify with fucked up things always happening to them, right? Or identifying with traumatic events that keep happening on repetition, right? Now, this is what makes space for more of those things to continue happening. And this is what feeds that ego. And not only feeds that ego, it also feeds those characteristics and traits that you're developing that is making you manifest more of this shit that you're quote unquote probably trying to get away from. But you know what I'm saying? Due to misery loves company concepts and a whole bunch of other societal concepts as far as like community and you know, just wanting to relate with individuals and shit like that, you'll sit here and oh boo-hoo and identify with it and want to talk amongst other people about certain shit that might be happening to you or something like that. And little do you know, you're feeding it more and more. You're feeding that system that you have developed within yourself, which even opens the space for these things to even be possible for you in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the ego really is. Anything that you can develop a personal identity around. You get what I'm saying? Now it could be something beneficial, but when it becomes a ego and let's say ego in a negative context is when your ego is making you feel like you're better than other individuals, or it's something that you're identifying with for such a long period of time that it might have even been beneficial for you in the beginning. Like when we're speaking on the negative aspects of it, of the ego, when you're identifying with suffering and trauma and all this shit, like it might have been really good for you emotionally or something like that in the beginning. Cause yeah, oh, okay, now I realize I'm not alone. I have all these people in this community to relate with me about all the shit that we going through in life and stuff like that. It might have started out beneficial for you to be like that, but over time it can start to become negative because you're like, okay, just for the example that we just used, okay, yeah, this helped me in the beginning because it made me feel like I'm not alone and da 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 da, all this and that. I have a community, I have people I can relate with about this, but with that being said, months, weeks, and years go by. Whenever I sit back on my own time, I realize still, even though I have these people to talk to about this shit, I'm still all alone. And I still have to deal with this shit myself, essentially. You get what I'm saying? So for an example, on the positive side of it, you could be sitting here and saying like, okay, let's use an ego that might be a little bit more perceived as positive, right? Out the gate or some shit. You could have the personal identity of being an intelligent person. You get what I'm saying? Just intelligence is your identity. You get what I'm saying? You're a smart individual. Now that could be even, but it could even go to the point where your ego is not only recognized by you, it's also recognized by other individuals. You get what I'm saying? So you could be in a situation where not only is your personal identity you thinking that you're an intelligent or smart individual, it can also be people in your environment who heavily agree with this. You get what I'm saying? Now that could be a very good thing for you. That could be very positive. You being intelligent, being perceived as being an intelligent individual, you might actually be an intelligent individual. You get what I'm saying? Or another positive example that we could use, you could be wise, or you could be a quote unquote enlightened individual or some shit like that. I'm just trying to think of terms that a lot of people might be using these days or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you could have this identity as being wise or being an enlightened individual in your own sector of reality. And like I said, it could get deep to the point where people even in your reality is believing these things. And not to say that it's the belief that matters, like no, you might actually be a wise person, you might actually be an intelligent person. It could go that deep as far as people in your environment are even agreeing with the shit. But the more that you try to uphold that, you realize that you can't. And it becomes no matter how wise you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how logical and how good you are with problem solving and selling and shit like this, like you might even have a identity as being a good salesman or some shit like this. Like, yeah, these can all be good things in the beginning. These can all be good things when they first start to appear to us and shit like that. But the more level of comfortability we develop around that and familiarity we develop around it, it's going to become something that can become detriment to you. The more that you try to uphold it, right? So it's like, okay, now that you're out of that mode of just being who you are, like you know that you're good at selling, you know that you're good at being a good salesman, you know that you're good with your intelligence, you know you're good with your problem solving, you know your level of wisdom, you know your level of creativity, you know all these traits that you have in the beginning when you were working with these things, and what actually helped you gain your notoriety, gain your bankroll, pad your bank account, whatever the fuck it may be. You get what I'm saying? The problem was when you first in those scenarios, you're not thinking about it being your identity. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you're in a situation where you might be feeling like you have certain traits and characteristics that are skillful or desirable in some type of way. You get what I'm saying? It might it might get to that point where you recognize, like, yeah, I've got these characteristics and traits that are desirable or skillful at the moment. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking of it so much as like a ego or being something that I need to uphold or being something that I see myself as. You get what I'm saying? I'm just me, but at the end of the day, I'm using these things as a tool. You was probably more so in that type of mind state when you first started interacting with these things, and that's what actually helped you gain everything that you have gained from these things. You get what I'm saying? But the moment that you put yourself in an aspect like, yeah, you've been working with all these tools that you've been utilizing for years on end, right? Nobody was affirming it back to you. Nobody is, instead of, you know what I'm saying, instead of you being in the mind state on the early on building aspect of it, of being like, okay, I need to use all these tools, I need to get myself together and shit like that, da da da. Now you're on the other side of it, having people sitting here, you've been using these tools for years and years, and you have developed a certain level of mastery over your craft, whatever that may be. Like I said, you could be a salesman, you could be an artist dealing with creativity and paintbrushes and microphones and fucking digital art, whatever it may be. You could be doing anything. But at the beginning, when you was first into it, you ain't have nobody affirming and confirming to you. So you was just using the tools, you was just developing your craft, you was just becoming better and becoming the best version of yourself that you could be in that through these ways of expressing yourself, right? So you're not even thinking of that as being an identity. You're not even thinking of it as being something that you need to uphold, because you're just doing it out of, you found a level of skill through that, or you found a level of fun and enjoyment through that, or a level of passion through that, and you're expressing yourself with these tools that you have at your disposal. You get what I'm saying? So that's all you're thinking about on the front beginning tip of it, right? But towards the end, whenever, and I don't even want to say beginning and end, because that implies starting and finishing something. It's more of a journey, especially whenever we're getting into like skills that are developed over multiple lifetimes and shit like that, or especially when it comes into shit like I'm into creativity and shit like that. There's really no start or end date to that. But I just mean in the aspect of, like, I guess developing a level of notoriety or stability in the third dimension is more so what I mean, through whatever it is that you have been working on for years, or for, months to weeks, or whatever the fuck it may be. Like I said, though, in the beginning of it, when you first start like actually taking it serious and actually spending a lot of time in that, right? you're not thinking of it as an identity or as an ego or something to even uphold. Like I said, you're doing it more for the enjoyment and the passion of it, or you're just expressing yourself through it, or you're just trying to get better at something at the moment. It might not even be something that, like, you might be purely into something simply for the fact that you know you're going to get some type of material gain out of it, right? But when you're first getting into it, you know that you don't have the skill set developed yet to actually be able to get the residuals from it, to be able to actually get the bankroll off of it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to go through that process of trial and error and getting better at things. You get what I'm saying? So you're not even thinking of an identity, an ego, something that you need to uphold. Even the learning process of it might not even be very prevalent on your mind. You get what I'm saying? But towards the ending tip, like I said, I don't like using beginning and end, but whenever I say end, just take it more so as whenever you're getting closer to reaching that quote unquote end goal, or the American dream, or becoming a millionaire, or buying a crib for your mama, or buying a truck for your daddy, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Monetary goal, stability goal, having a house, whatever that end goal may be, that you're using these developed characteristics and traits to get towards. You get what I'm saying? Or you're just purely doing it for fun and enjoyment, and you didn't even know that you was going to get money off of it, and it just came. You get what I'm saying? So now you're here at this more quote unquote end position. You're more towards the end goal. You're more monetarily stable, you're more influential, you're more you have more notoriety. People know who you are. We can even use the word fame here if you want to get to that point, right? But when you get to this end point, that's going to be when all the shit that you struggled with on your quote unquote come up, or your quote unquote learning process, your trial and error process, whenever you was actually trying to make this into a business that would actually be in the green rather than being in the red, when you was trying to make this into a song that could actually be something that could be on #1 top Billboard 100 or whatever, rather than it just sounding like you in the bedroom and fucking clanging pots and pans together and shit, and whatever it may be. You get what I'm saying? When you are at that end tip, you're going to have people who are going to be affirming and confirming to you every struggle that you dealt with on the come up. You get what I'm saying? You're not going to have those people there telling you that shit. Like, y'all have heard the story. I'm sure y'all probably seen this video. It was like a viral video that was going around Instagram a few years ago or some shit. And it was a rapper or somebody who had came from nothing and went to something, essentially. Somebody who was broke and all this type of shit, came from nothing and went to something. I think it was a rapper or some shit like that, but not somebody that I know of, right? And he was essentially saying it's hard trying to convince people that you are the shit, meanwhile you still ain't the shit though. You get what I'm saying? So that's essentially the basis of what this video is about, in a way. When you are in that process of developing your craft and just becoming better at things, becoming better as a person, developing yourself, developing mastery over skill sets, developing more expanded characteristics and traits, not being, like everyone else in your environment and shit like that. When you're in that process, you are like kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, in a way. You're like halfway in the middle between being the shit and being not the shit at all. You get what I'm saying? Because you're here sliced in the middle. Half of you is the shit, but half of you is still those same characteristics and traits of when people remember you when you was broke, or when people remember you when you was living in a trap house, and when people came over to your crib and it was fucking roaches in the cereal and shit like that. Like that's you in that type of mixture at the moment when you like, because it take a lot of work for a person to even sit down and focus on one thing for a week. You get what I'm saying? Like it take a lot to even get to that point. You get what I'm saying? So that like me personally, I would even argue that the person who just started on their creative endeavors, business endeavors, upgrading themselves as a person, whatever it may be. And I don't want it to get into arguments of superiority complexes and shit like that. Cause no, that's not what this is about. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to necessarily put it on a scale of saying that certain people are worse or better than other people. But me personally, I would argue that the person who just sat down today and just made their first song, or just painted their first canvas, or just developed their fucking website for their brand, the person that just started today is more developed than the person who hasn't even started thinking about the shit. You get what I'm saying? Who hasn't even started thinking about their own development, or started thinking about, oh, maybe I don't want to work this 9 to 5 forever. And maybe I do need to do something that can sustain myself and my family for years to come and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at with this. The person, it takes a lot for you to even get to the point where to even have the dedication, to even have the confidence, to even like show yourself, be seen, make a social media post, make a video, even if it's the most simplest shit ever. You get what I'm saying? Even if it's the most mundane or the most goofiest shit that you've ever seen in your entire lifetime, that is still a more developed individual than the person who sits around and watches everybody on social media all the time, but yet all that they can do and the only framework that they can come up with in their mind to make sense of what they need to be doing with themselves is, I need to go and clock into this job. You get what I'm saying? Now, it's not to say, don't take that in a broad, that's like a very broad generalized paintbrush right there that I just hit y'all with. Don't take that as 100% reality or 100% facts. You get what I'm saying? Because there's some people out here who work a 9 to 5 job, and then Billy Joel plays the piano and makes music and shit like that, and he's very extremely creative and talented, but his emotional development is severely lacking. But this person who's not very creative and they can't come up with other means and justifications of why they probably should be doing something else to where they can be their own boss and shit like that, they're lacking in the creativity element, but they have the emotional development. You get what I'm saying? They have the emotional intelligence. They know how to relate to people. They know how to approach people and connect with people, and they know how to network and all this different type of shit. You get what I'm saying? Now, these people, for example, if these two people came together, I can show you a little bit of the creative side. You can show me a little bit of the networking side. Shit, that would be like a power duo. You get what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up. We all need each other, and everyone plays a certain role in reality and shit like that. But at the same time, like I said, for the most part, I would see somebody who just started today more developed than somebody who hasn't started at all. You get what I'm saying? And that's when we're getting into like business, entertainment, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit that take a little bit more effort. You get what I'm saying? Shit that take a little bit more work, a little bit more level of understanding, a little bit more level of trial and error, a little bit more level of bravery, things like that. You get what I'm saying? However that might play out for y'all. But that's what we're getting at today when we talking about the ego and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because a person who is less developed might sit here and come up with an identity of being successful. Meanwhile, that they might be successful to a certain degree, though. You get what I'm saying? They might only be successful until inflation counterbalances what their pay paradigm is at the moment. And all of a sudden they're not able to afford their mortgage. And all of a sudden they're not able to, you get what I'm saying? And meanwhile, the whole time they just selling their soul to a corporation. They're not doing anything that they actually want to do. They're not learning any skills and traits that they would actually want to learn. They're not learning anything that could benefit them, generally speaking, anywhere outside of the workplace. You get what I'm saying? Generally speaking, anything that you're going to learn from a corporation or a job is not going to help you anywhere outside of working that specific job and having that specific title and being in that specific position. You get what I'm saying? And the reason for that is shit, you fucking up, or I don't like you today, shit, I can fire you and hire someone else right behind you. And now your skill set that you learned here, that don't no other factory have that specific system. Don't no other restaurant job have that specific menu. You get what I'm saying? So your experience might be able to help you to a certain degree, but at the same time, a corporation and an interviewer will look at it like, yeah, you have all this experience, but you have never worked for our company before, though. So you don't know how to run our system specifically. So we still gonna have to train you and teach you on how to do this shit anyways. You get what I'm saying? But that's besides the point. Let's get back into the main topic of the video. Like I said, ego comes from personal identification, and that's how you continue to feed the ego, especially if you fall in love with that identity that you've created for yourself. You get what I'm saying? The more that you start to obsess over and heavily enjoy this identity that you have given to yourself, the more and more it feeds it, and the more and more stronger it becomes, and the more and more you get those survivors. I don't necessarily want to say survivor's guilt, but that it kind of give off that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily survivor's guilt or survivor's remorse. It's more so that ego just trying to survive in and of itself. The ego just wants to live. So that's where you get all those that like skewed and frayed mindset, where your mind is all over the place and it's bouncing back and forth between future and past possibilities. They're not even inevitabilities, they're possibilities that probably aren't even going to happen in and of itself. That's where you get that from. When you have a really strong ego and you've created some type of character and identity for yourself that you are just completely infatuated with at the moment. That's when your mind will be racing between never being in the present moment, always being in future possibilities and past regrets and shit like that. That's when you know that you have some type of level of infatuation with whatever identity and character that you have given to yourself, and you have a fully functioning, strong ego in a negative way. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the thing about it. A positive ego don't give a fuck about being here and being gone tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? Because a positive ego is going to know at the end of the day, shit, you the spirit, I'm just the ego at the moment. You the spirit, I know you, I trust you, and I know if you kill me off today, you're going to make something bigger, better, and stronger tomorrow. So what is the point of me needing to be sitting here and needing to uphold and maintain myself? You get what I'm saying? As the ego. Why do I need to sit here and uphold and maintain myself and try to constantly be surviving? Because I know whatever comes out of my destruction is only going to be better for the spirit. You get what I'm saying? That's when you know you have a more positive ego. It's not something that's going to keep your thoughts racing between shit, I might die tomorrow, and fuck, I should have said this to that girl and maybe we still be together. You get what I'm saying? You won't have that back and forth bouncing and being all over the place type of energy. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you need to know from the ego, and how how to actually have a positive ego and know how to actually identify these things when it's beneficial and when it starts to become detriment. When your mind start racing and shit, you might need to reframework your identity sector of how you're identifying yourself and the things in your environment. Who actually are you? Whatever the fuck you want to be. You get what I'm saying? Not any of these things individually. You are whoever the fuck you want to be. You are whatever the fuck you want to be. Anything else that you can splice out individually and view as one thing in its duality nature and its singularity nature, viewing it as separate and shit like that, that's when things start to get blurry and things start getting fucked up. When you view it as singularity rather than it being just all a part of who you are and what you want to be for the day, you get what I'm saying? You start viewing them individually and saying, yeah, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. That's the moment when things start getting fucked up. You get what I'm saying? And now you have something that you feel like you need to uphold, and you have something that you need to make sure that it survives, and you need to make sure that you maintain it. Otherwise, if you lose that, you lose who you are. If you lose that, you lose yourself. If you lose that, you lose your ability to be able to do the shit that you've been doing and move how you've been moving and get what you've been getting and receive the blessings that you've been receiving. You get what I'm saying? That's what actually happens. Now, another thing that I need to note before we get into the how to develop strength aspect of this video, another thing that I need to note quickly before we move on is a thing that I was talking about on the business tip. Whenever you're in like a creative scenario and you're utilizing your characteristics and traits as tools before people start affirming to you like, yeah, you are the shit. No, I was just using the shit as a tool. Oh yeah, no, you are smart. And it's like, no, I was just using intelligence as a tool. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, the thing I needed to add about that makes it so hard on the ending tip whenever you get to your end goal or you get to your fucking sanctuary or your stability or your monetary gain, whatever the fuck that you had in mind. You get what I'm saying? When you get to that point and people start affirming these things to you and start telling you that, yeah, you are this and you are that, you're so smart and you're so popular and you're so fancy and you're so creative and all this shit, that's why it starts to become hard. You get what I'm saying? Because like I said, when you were at the beginning tip of this, you were just using all these things as tools. These things even being a piece of your identity was not even a thought on your mind until people started affirming it to you. The reason it becomes so hard on the ending tip, and this is why you'll see a lot of people rise to fame and fall very quickly, because when people start coming back around and start actually affirming and confirming these things to you, now it's an ego, it's an identity, it's something that you need to maintain, and it's something that is trying its best to survive now. You get what I'm saying? As opposed to when you were in a correct mind state, and what helped you actually gain all this shit that you now have, that you're fucking so worried about maintaining, and you're so worried about it surviving and all this shit, and you being able to wake up to it tomorrow and all this stuff. What you're not considering is the fact that it was effortless whenever you were doing it like this and just using things as tools. You wasn't really trying like that. You get what I'm saying? You were just on the journey. You wasn't focused on hoarding it and holding on to it like an old fucking dragon from old Bilbo Baggins era and shit like that. You wasn't worried about all that shit. That's why it becomes difficult to maintain whenever you get to a certain level in society and shit like that, and you have a lot of money and stuff. And that's why they say, oh, a lot of people can't ever go be rich because they wouldn't be able to handle it, and they'd be broke within this certain period of time frame. Yeah, same thing happens to the people who win the lottery by miraculous, just out of nowhere. All of a suddenly, you've known this person their whole life, they've been broke their whole life. All of a suddenly, they fucking come into a whole bunch of millions and shit like that, and then they go broke instantly. Why do they go broke instantly? Because they ain't never had money before. Now money is their identity. Oh, I'm rich now and shit. So now you feel like you gotta uphold and maintain it, and you feel like you gotta make that survive. You feel like you gotta constantly be stoking the fire and applying pressure and all this shit and making all these investment moves and all this shit. That ain't what got you the money. That wasn't what got you the money in the first place. You get what I'm saying? That's not what's going to help you keep the money. That's not what is going to help you maintain. Now you feel like you got to uphold something because people has come around you now and they start gassing you up and feeding that ego with an external source beyond just your own mind and your own thoughts and feelings and shit like that. Now you got people outside of you talking about telling you everything you want to hear now, essentially. Like y'all know how ain't shit ass individuals are. I mean, we could put this into a worldly perspective and fucking dominate the entire game just for the simple fact of everyone has not shit individuals in their life. Everyone knows how people can be not shit sometimes, and everyone has seen this from their family members, their friends, the fucking people in the hood that they grew up with, whatever the fuck it may be. Everybody knows that a fuck ton of the world ain't shit at the end of the day. So a person who hits the lottery and goes rich all of a suddenly, we can just use a little bit of context clues and a little bit of common sense here. What is the first thing that's going to happen? Somebody close to them in their environment is going to come around them and gas up their ego and tell them every fucking thing in the world that they wanted to hear, just in hopes that they'll break them off a little piece of that change. Even if it comes to the point where they're not trying to like manipulate it like that and be like extra nice to you just in the hopes that you will give them some shit. It might even come down to just pure straight up reality in your face. A person will come around you talking all type of nice and extra gassing you up and feeding your ego type of shit, and then all of a sudden on the back end, before they leave the house at the end of the day, they're asking you for some money. Pay attention. Like that like, man, come on now. But that's why a majority of people will never be able to keep it. It's because it's not because you don't know how to deal with money. You like, this is the thing about it. A lot of people on the internet and business people and people who make YouTube videos and all this extra type of shit, all these people will sit on the internet with a whole big bunch of fucking money busheled up into 100-pound fucking Ben Franklin's. You get what I'm saying? They will sit here with all this shit and tell you the reason that you can't get rich and the reason that you would go broke if you were rich is because you don't know about money. Your financial literacy isn't correct. You don't know about money, so you wouldn't know what to do if you were rich, and you wouldn't know what to do if you got a whole big bag of money and shit like that. No, that's not like, that's just like fucking virtue signaling. That's like a reverse psychology tactic to have people afraid to even get into some money, because now they like, oh fuck, I'm not ready to even know how to handle money yet. So, and I haven't done all this time studying on financial literacy. If $1 million landed in my lap tomorrow, I'd be afraid of it, because I would go and buy this house and this car and da 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 da, and then I'd be in debt, and then I'd go broke and I'd lose all the money, and then I wouldn't be able to pay off this house payment and this car note and da 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 da. No, they're just trying to keep you away from the money. That's the thing. The people who are rich and stay rich is for the simple fact that they don't have an issue with ego. That's all it is. It's one very simple observation. And that's the thing about it. A lot of y'all will observe these people who are rich and have a lot of money and are making videos on the internet and stuff like that. You guys will look at a lot of these individuals and will say that they have a big ego because they're very cocky or they're extremely confident or they don't necessarily give a fuck about anybody else's feelings, or they might be selfish to a certain degree. We can sew all of that up right now. All of that does not correlate to having a big ego or having an issue with the ego. Let's make that very clear. You get what I'm saying? What's good? What's good, Malo? Thanks for popping up, man. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, we can sew all that up right now, because this is the thing about it. You can correlate that shit to somebody having a level of ego within themselves, or let's just be honest. We can get down to the point where you could say a person with a big ego would be like that. Confident, cocky, not really, more so selfish, don't really care about other people's feelings and stuff like that. We could say that, but at the same time, having a big ego does not correlate to having issues with the ego. You get what I'm saying? So a person can have a certain level of identity about themselves, and with that have a certain level of confidence in that identity, cockiness within that identity, not giving a fuck about nobody, how nobody else feel, because how I know how I feel is always correct, and not giving a fuck about giving or being empathetic to anybody else, because shit, I only need to give to myself. I'm the only one worthy of it, right? That doesn't even necessarily equate to having an issue with the ego. You get what I'm saying? That might not be an issue for that person. And that level of identity might not plague that person's mind. That's the number one thing that you need to take into consideration. And having a level of that, this is the thing about it. A person could be so confident just for the simple fact that they have an identity that they can have confidence in. You get what I'm saying? They know it doesn't need to be maintained. They know it doesn't need to be, it's not something they need to force to survive. They don't need to apply pressure. They don't need to do anything to maintain this shit. Same deal with their money. They don't need to sit here and put a whole bunch of energy into not going broke. That's what keep them rich. Like, let's just be honest. Now, how to gain strength. Let's get into the next part of the video. How to actually gain strength in whatever area. Before we get into this sector, it's been 40 minutes. I'm gonna go and grab some more water. I need a little something to drink. So I'll be back in just a couple seconds for y'all. I've been running for a fucking while. Okay, we're back, y'all. We're back, y'all. Had to get me a breath and a fucking glass of water. Oh man, sometimes I feel like my fucking breathing gets knocked off its pivot on some weird shit. But anyways, let's get back into this shit. We're gonna talk about how to actually develop strength here today. You get what I'm saying? So now, when we're talking about developing strength, people will paint you such a broad picture when it comes into anything. You get what I'm saying? So fucking strength, I couldn't even sit here and define to you strength in the aspect of how the world would correlate strength, because strength can be displayed in a multitude of ways. You can show mental strength, you can show emotional strength, you can show a level of physical strength. There's a lot of ways that this can play out. You get what I'm saying? But this is the thing about it. Fuck all that. I don't want to see my strength play out in limited ways like that. That seems very limited to me. Like, okay, that like the way that is set up make it seem like you only have one choice, or maybe one or two choices. You get what I'm saying? Like, shit, you might not have the genetics to be physically strong. You might not have, you get what I'm saying? Like, that just seems limited to me in a certain to a certain degree. I want to see my strength play out through every single avenue that it possibly can. You get what I'm saying? And now this is the thing about it. Life will program us into believing that we're weak. Okay, that's one thing that we need to take into consideration. Life will program us into believing that we're weak. We're not. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of us are not weak at all to any degree. So the first thing that you need to do before you can develop your strength is to find it first. Get what I'm saying? Now, this will play out differently for everyone, and it might not be the easiest thing in the world for you. You get what I'm saying? But when you identify your strength and you know what it is, you know what it feels like. You get what I'm saying? That's for me anyways, that's how I can help give y'all a little bit of context clues to actually identifying your strength, and more so of like knowing where it resides, how it operates, shit like that. The first thing to do to find it is to recognize what it feels like. That's the most important thing, is recognizing what your strength feels like. Now, once you have identified what your strength feels like, now you know what areas you're strong in and what areas you ain't strong in. And this does deal with self-control to a certain degree. I think that a high level of strength deals with a high level of self-control. You get what I'm saying? So once you identify your strength and you identify where you're strong at, now you can learn to develop it and more finely attune it to your paradigm and how you want to live your life and how you want to see your strength play out. You get what I'm saying? So after you identify it, now we're on the development stage, right? You found out where it is, you found out how it likes to operate, what it feels like, what it does, where it's proficient and where it's deficient at. You found out all that information. Now we're in the developmental stage, right? In the developmental stage, it's important to catalog and take into consideration every moment where there is something within you or some type of influence outside of you that trumps your strength. You get what I'm saying? So, for example, what to take into consideration that will help y'all with a little bit of context clues to actually be able to do that. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Y'all know how people in life will say, like, say for example, like you and a friend of yours just went through some shit, right? And you see your friend not do something that you would have did something in that moment. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, this is just a broad example, and this does in no way reflect my belief systems about shit like this at all. Okay, the little disclaimer before we get into this. Let's say, for example, you and your homeboy just went out for a night of fun, right? You go to the club. Outside the club, there's a man and a woman arguing. There's a male and a female arguing, and they're in a relationship of some sort, right? They're outside the club and they're yelling at each other. All of a sudden, you see this guy start beating the shit out of his girlfriend, right? And let's just say, for lack of argument, for the sake of argument and for the sake of not having this reflect reality too much, you get what I'm saying? Let's say that you were preoccupied at the moment, right? But your friend was very close to what was happening, right? You were preoccupied by something that you couldn't drop at the moment. You couldn't just stop doing what you were doing, right? But you're observing your friend out of the corner of your eye, standing very nearby to this girl who's getting the shit beat out of her by her boyfriend, and your friend does nothing. He essentially just stands there and watches it happen, right? So after all this is said and done, at the end of the night, you're conversating with your friend and you're like, I was preoccupied at the moment, but when that girl was getting the shit beat out of her by her boyfriend, why you didn't do nothing, right? Now the guy gonna tell you some shit like, I was gonna do something, but my anxiety was just too strong. Or I was gonna do something, but this was just too strong. Or I was taking this into consideration, or I was taking that into consideration, right? Boom. That right there is exactly what I'm talking about. That is how you actually develop your strength. And that is how you develop it into more broader areas rather than just being more finite and located in just your mentality or just your fucking bicep muscle or just your emotion or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? You need to identify behavioral characteristics and traits of yourself that deal with shit like that. When very strongly within yourself, like you might, that person might even be pissed off at themselves that they didn't step in and stop that girl from getting the shit beat out of her, right? But his fear was too strong. He afraid of confrontation deep down, and his fear of that was too strong, or his anxiety was too strong. He don't really have a fear of confrontation, but he have anxiety about, oh fuck, if I punch this person in the face too hard and they die, then I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. And da 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 da. Just a whole bunch of hypothetical scenarios and shit like that. That's how you actually develop your strength. You need to find those moments where it's like deeply within you, you have a strong longing to do something. Like you really want to do that, or like you know that if I could just do this, it would make things better, or I really want to do that. But there is some type of fear of something else burdening you. Oh, but if I do go do that, I'm afraid of what people will think of me, or I have this anxiety about that, or I have this fear about that, and da 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 da. You got to starve that shit. You got to starve that shit right from its source. Now, this is the thing about it. Like I said, once you identify your strength, you will identify the areas not only in your body, but in your psyche in general that your strength plays out. You get what I'm saying? Now, the better that you are at identifying your strengths and finding out where these things actually reside at and identifying them within your psyche and even to a certain degree within your physical body, you get what I'm saying? It's going to also help you identify the things on the other side of that. On the other side of your strength would be your weaknesses. You get what I'm saying? So it's going to help you to identify the areas that you are weak at. That way you can actually put into some type of aspect of putting some work in and making a weakness become a strength. You get what I'm saying? That's where the developmental part is so powerful of the strength aspect. You get what I'm saying? Because we can put ourselves into all type of categories of putting our strength in boxes and shit like that and saying that it shouldn't even be utilized in this certain area or shouldn't even be regarded in this certain area. But for me, that shit is just foolish to me. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what is so powerful about the strength paradigm and the way that I believe it and the way that I view it. You get what I'm saying? It's not limited by anything. So that's why somebody who has done this work to regard their strength as being something so powerful, and also a person who has put their strength into the right categories, right? Their strength could be seen by from just about anything that they do. You get what I'm saying? So now let's give an example of this as well. How you could see how a person who has actually went through the work of doing this will could be seen as being a strong individual, or their strength could be seen through just about anything that they do. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to give y'all a real world example because I just had something on the tip of my mind, but it went away too quickly. Like I'm trying to give y'all like a real world example of some shit that has like actually fucking happened. You get what I'm saying? But I mean, as far as like little ass examples go, like we could do this shit all day. You know what I'm saying? Like there's somebody out there right now who has put their strength into the right type of categories, and It can actually be perceived better. You get what I'm saying? There's a person out there right now who just went and picked a flower up out of the ground, and somebody thought they were strong for doing that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know that might sound a little goofy to some of y'all to a certain degree, you know what I'm saying? But that is literally how it be. Like, your strength is gonna shine through the more that you put it in the correct type of aspect. So somebody could witness you do something that normally people might regard as being very weak. You get what I'm saying? Some people might regard that as being a very weak tactic, a very weak thing to do. Why are you even worried about this? Da 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 da. But a person who has put their strength in the right categories could do the exact same thing, and people are sitting here calling that strength. Now that is a it's like a what do they call them things where light gets trapped inside of it? A prism. You get what I'm saying? Now that's like a prism. You get what I'm saying? Now, what I mean by that, because I know there's going to be plenty of people who don't know what I mean by that. What I mean by that now is, now that's like a crystallized, that's like a solidified version of what strength means to that person now. That's why shit is so fucked up down here in the first place, anyways. Because people will get too retarded like that and get lost in just what you can see of it. They'll get lost in just the light of it. You get what I'm saying? So what happens a lot of times is, somebody like me or somebody like you who is watching this video, who is actually worried about their own personal development, somebody who is actually putting the work in, somebody who is actually doing what the fuck they supposed to be doing as a spirit. You get what I'm saying? Somebody who is doing that spend their whole entire life sitting here developing themselves, right? And sitting here making themselves a better person and shit like that, right? Then now, just off of and I don't even like using this fucking word no more, because y'all done made it mainstream, and now it's fucking weird, and now it's trendy and shit like that. But aura, you get what I'm saying? I've spent my whole life developing these characteristics and traits. I've spent my whole life becoming better as a person. I've spent my whole life in these energies. You get what I'm saying? So now by default, when I come around you, just off of my aura, you're going to start to pick up certain virtues and principles. You're going to start to pick up certain behavioral characteristics and traits and habits that have been developed over a long period of time just by you being around me. So you get what I'm saying? To a certain degree, me just walking in the room could be an exemplification of strength. You get what I'm saying? So I just walked in the room. That wasn't me being in my strength. That wasn't me trying to show you my strength. That wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't nothing of me trying to actively actually show that to you. That's just what you perceived off of me due to shit. I've been working on building up my strength for the past 6 to 9 to 10 to 12 fucking years. You get what I'm saying? So when I walk in, one of the first things that you gonna breathe in off of the scent of my aura is immediately gonna be strength, right? So now there's somebody walking around in the world who got that aura off of you, who sat here and took that light of what they seen. I'm not talking about anything further than just the act of the image of me walking into that room. You get what I'm saying? So now there's somebody in the world who truly believes and has taken that image of what they seen, Schwetzel walking in the room. They took that, they crystallized that light, that image, what they just seen, that piece of information that got transferred over to them. They took that and they trapped it in a prism, right? And this is all, I don't really necessarily want to say hypothetical. I'm more so speaking to you guys metaphorically right now, because this be what actually be happening in reality, but I just have to use some type of fucking metaphor to make it make sense to y'all. You get what I'm saying? Fong Win Nat. Keep on going, bro. You're gonna be famous someday. And then he says, "Stop ignoring me." My bad. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I just kind of when I be on one of those tips, I be on one, and I don't really necessarily stop for nothing unless I need like a moment of mental clarity or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to ignore you though. I appreciate you, man. I won't be stopping for nothing, bro. Trust and believe. And yeah, I will be famous someday, even though I don't want to be. I really just want the money, but one day it's coming. And that one day is today, because I'm me. That's all it's about. Diatomic, your last tracks be fire. Yeah, shout out to the Schwetzy the Flame album. If you guys ain't listened to anything off of that, go check it out. You can go listen to my most recent song. It's most recently uploaded. That shit's called Kappa Stan. Shout out to Kappa Stan. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all go buy that shit. But anyways, like I said, I gotta speak to you guys in metaphors because shit, what I was just talking about, I don't even know no other way to convey that other than fucking sitting here and telling you guys metaphors, because I don't know. I mean, I guess I could break it down in some other type of way, but it seemed like the way that I was going about it was the way to do it. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, like I said, now we're sitting here in a situation where somebody watched me walk into the room. They got strength off of just my aura, just my natural disposition. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, now there's somebody who watched that. They took that image, that piece of light, that piece of information that they just received, they crystallized it, they encrusted it, and they put it in a prism. And now that prism gets cataloged into their psyche. So now whenever somebody is talking about strength, the first thing that come up in their mind state is that image of me walking into the room. You get what I'm saying? Now, this might not necessarily be a bad thing, but what I was trying to convey to you guys through that, and by saying this is why the world is so fucked up at the moment, is because you will be in a situation, like I said, it'll be somebody who's just like me, spend a lot of time developing themselves, spend a lot of time working on themselves and developing their characteristics and traits and gaining mastery over certain concepts or certain crafts that they're into. You get what I'm saying? So now when they walk into the room, they have some other type of presence or some other type of virtue and principle for you to pick up on their aura. They're exuding I was exuding strength. They might be exuding confidence. They might be exuding whatever other type of thing it may be. You get what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you are perceiving off of them at the moment, or whatever they've spent a long period of time working on and developing on their own time. Now that's what you get from them whenever they step into your paradigm, whenever they start to step into your reality and shit like that. You see how shit shift around them based on their paradigm, based on what they've been into, based on what they've been working on. So they're not going to see the same thing from you that you see from them. You get what I'm saying? So that's why the world is so fucked up, because you will have mundane, regular, rudimentary level type of people sitting here observing extraordinary individuals who will actually take the time to put the work in and seeing these virtues and principles from them. And then they will observe any and old random fucking action in the world from this individual and equate that to whatever it is that they receive from them, whatever virtue and principle it was that they receive from them. Like I said, that first person, they got the strength, virtue, and principle off of my aura whenever I walked into the room. So now they've sat back on their own time and developed Schwetzy walking into the room is how you show strength. You get what I'm saying? That's what their definition of strength is now, because that's what they've seen from you. They've seen you actually play that out in reality, and they know that it works. You get what I'm saying? They've seen the results of it. They know that it works, but you were just in your strength bag, and you just leak strength out of your aura due to how much time you have actually spent developing your strength. You get what I'm saying? So Now, any action that you show, a person is able to pick up strength from you. You get what I'm saying? So this person viewed me walking into the room. Now, on their own day to day and their own time, anytime they're wanting to show some level of strength, they think in their mind they need to recreate however it was I walked into that room. You get what I'm saying? So they'll try to mimic the walk, they'll try to mimic the swagger, they'll try to mimic the outfit and all this other type of shit, putting all this extra shit on top of themselves, not even knowing that the reason you got strength from me when I walked into that room is because that is what was going on inside of me. It didn't have shit to do with what outfit I was wearing that day, how I walked into the room, the level of swagger I had in my walk, the pimp cane I had in my hand, the fucking rings I had on my finger. It ain't have shit to do with none of that other stuff. It had what to do with what was going on within me and what I've been working on for all these weeks, months, and years that you ain't seen behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying? But you see it now. You see it now, though. You see the results of what I've been doing. You didn't see all the shit that I was doing behind the scenes, though. That really shows strength. That really shows character. You get what I'm saying? So now you in your day-to-day life, you're thinking, oh, fuck, I need to have that swagger. I need to have that walk. I need to find out where I can buy that ring that look like that. And I need to find out where I can get these gold chains at and all this shit. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You getting yourself even deeper lost in the sauce. But that's how you actually develop your strength. And also just a little extra gem to throw in there that we threw in there towards the end. That's also why the world is so fucked up right now. Because nobody sat back and developed their own strength. Nobody sat back and developed their own character. Nobody sat back and developed their own happiness. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So let's get back into the crystal or the fucking prism conversation we was just having. How many people do you know of in the world who got the game fucked up simply over the fact that they sat here and watched The Little Mermaid on Disney Channel and in their mind came to conclusions of this is how you act when you're happy. So if I'm not acting like that or I don't have that, I'm not happy. You get what I'm saying? Could play out in a multitude of other ways. Let's not use the Disney Channel one as a fucking firm decision yet. Let's move over into something else. Romantic movies, right? You had a girl watch this shit whenever she was young. Now, in her psyche, she has that prism still crystallized over that image and that piece of information that she got way back when. That's still dropped in her psyche. So now she might not even consciously know this, but now in her dating life today, she watched this romantic movie and the dude in the movie was doing all this and this and that for this girl. If he ain't doing this and this and that for me, he ain't the one for me. You get what I'm saying? Somebody just watched you being happy, right? Now, okay. Let's say you spent a long period of time developing your happiness, right? So now shit can come along and it might not even be something worth being happy about, but you smile at it regardless, still yet, right? Now, let's say that you are just so happy of an individual that something bad happens to you. Like this don't make no sense in reality. Let's just go ahead and say that first. This don't make no sense in reality, but we're going to use it as an example, right? Let's just say that you spent so much time working on your own level of happiness that something extremely bad, negative, and traumatic happens to you, but you've worked on your happiness so much that even that makes you happy, right? But somebody picked up happiness off of your aura, right? A regular individual who hasn't developed themselves, right? They picked up happiness off of your aura, right? And they seen you go through this bad thing that happened to you and that made you happy, right? So now this person might come to conclusions in their mind oh shit, that's the happiest person I've ever seen. You get what I'm saying? So what it truly means to be happy is to go through something like that, and that'll make you happy, right? So now this person has that prism in their psyche to tell them, oh, if you ain't suffering, then you don't deserve to be happy. If you ain't going through something bad at the moment, you don't deserve to be happy. So there's no happiness going to come to you unless you suffering. Just from that prism, just from that idea, seeing that image of this person doing that, not taking into consideration what they might have been doing behind closed doors to make you even feel that level of happiness off of them in the first place. You get what I'm saying? To not be affected by their external fucking circumstances and situations. You get what I'm saying? Is what it is. We got some more chats here. High Wind Men. You do OnlyFans. No, I'm a man. I don't do OnlyFans. Then Fawn Win Nat. I feel like you on two accounts trying to fuck with me at the moment or some shit. Because why you got Win in both account names? That must be your last name in real life. Fong Win Nat said, what the fuck, bro, with a dead symbol. And then High Win Men said, my bad. He looked kind of attractive, though. I'm conquesting it. What the fuck do conquesting mean? Let's find the definition. Conquesting definition. What in the fuck? Goddamn page took me to some other shit. Conquesting is the act of taking control or possession of foreign land or a group of people by force. Fuck is you talking about? What the fuck is you trying to conquest over here? Oh, European mind head at. What the fuck? You ain't conquesting shit in my chat. Sorry to say, but you ain't you ain't gonna be conquesting shit in my chat, my G. But yeah, I don't even know what to reply to in that group of comments. I don't know if you're trying to troll me. I don't know if you're just trying to be funny or what, but yeah, nah. I don't really interact with that type of stuff, you know. I do look attractive though, even though I got some acne on my face. I've been checking myself out the whole time. Do got a little bit of acne going on right now though, but I ain't worried about it. Eyebrows looking good, stern face sweats in the building. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're essentially done now. Did I leave off anything before I went to the chat? Was there anything that I was forgetting or leaving off? Like did I stop mid sentence or anything like that, or like did I stop mid sentence to interact with the chat, or what, did I like finish my point or something? I can't remember. I don't have anything right off the top that I need to cover any further today, specifically, to be quite honest. Diatomic says, why these bots Vietnamese? I don't think that's Vietnamese. I think Win is more of a Korean or Chinese name. I don't think Win is necessarily Vietnam. Could be. I mean, you very well could be right. I'm not saying that I know that for sure, but most of the people with the last name Win that I've seen, or Nagayan, as they like to say, most of them have either been Chinese or Korean. So, yeah, I don't know if that name is necessarily a thing in Vietnam. But good morning, Vietnam. My vape just ran out of juice. It hit 0 as soon as I fucking finished this live stream, pretty much. Yeah, so what do you guys want to talk about? If you got anything you want to talk about, these fucking shit. Type in the chat. Tell me what the fuck y'all want to talk about. If there's anything you want to add to as far as video. Oh, God. I had my leg in the wrong position for the wrong amount of time. My ankle was fucking busted, broken, fucked up. But yeah, anybody want to talk about anything, add on to anything, you can type in the chat. If anybody want to actually hop in for like a open panel type of discussion, we can do some Discord chat shit as well. I can post a Discord link in the chat for you guys if you'd like to come and join in on that. Just let me know. We'll fucking hang out for a couple more minutes. If I don't see or hear anything in the chat, or nobody's asking to come on and do open panel or anything like that, then we just gonna end it. Y'all know how we do. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking stretch it out and sit on live stream all day and fucking beg for people to interact with me. It's not happening. But yeah, we essentially done with all our points. There ain't nothing on my mind as far as seeing something that I need to break down further at the moment. Fuck, it's already 10 o'clock. Are you going to quit pod, bro? What do you mean by pod? Podcasting? Or are you talking about nicotine pods? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the nicotine one. Yeah, see, you are on fucking two separate accounts. Yeah. You ain't cover your tracks too well there, my guy. You fucking replied to me on the second account and you done fucked up. If you're not trying to troll and you're just in here showing support on both accounts, I very deeply appreciate that. Most people wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you are just in here trolling, fuck you, low key. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But am I gonna quit nicotine? Yeah, probably at some point. Haven't really, I guess, felt the need to at the moment. I've been just cruising. Eventually, though, I'd like to quit everything. Eventually, I would like to not smoke weed, not drink, and not smoke nicotine at all. Eventually. As far as that happening right now, right this second, I don't know about all that. Yeah, I don't know about all that. This one's on zero juice, though. Y'all fucking drained me. Y'all drained my fucking juice package. My juice pack. I got another one out in the car, but I'm not about to go get it at this moment. Yeah, he said, "Are you gonna quit pot?" You asked me, "Am I gonna quit pod?" Like I'm smoking Juul pod or something. That's why you confused me. And I thought you considered this to be like a podcast or something too. I was like, bro, what? We're not podcasting, and we're not fucking. See, I know YouTube be lying, bro. It keep jumping my viewership from 5 to 8, and the same thing with the likes. See, now it went 7.6. Trying to hit the Pingy jailing right now, but it's fucking stuck. Uh-oh. Ooh. That oh yeah. That that double blinker shit ain't for everybody. I'm telling you. He said that's why you should quit smoking. No. That ain't even that ain't even oh my god. Oh shit. That ain't even why I should quit. That ain't even god damn it. Oh, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I'm fucking sweating now. Actively sweating. But no, that ain't even that ain't even a reason why I should quit smoking. Only only reason I'm dying off of it like that is because oh shit. It's because that's a live resin pin, man. And I just took a double blinker off of it. So that don't even begin to justify why I should quit smoking. That don't even begin to explain. Now, if you would have said something that made a little bit more sense, like, hey man, did you forget that fucking every time you take a hit off of the goddamn nicotine stick, you forget how to breathe for about 3 to 5 seconds? Now that one would have made a little bit more sense. You get what I'm saying? If you would have came in here and said some shit like, damn, bro, did you forget how it was easier for you to walk upstairs a few years ago than it is now? That might have probably made it. That probably might have made a little bit more sense. But what you talking about right now is just purely the effects of hitting the fucking, what do you call it, rosin or fucking live resin, some shit like that. I don't even know. But it'll fucking make you sick, boy. It'll make you fucking sick, boy. Now, see, if you would have came here and said, oh shit. If you would have came here and said some shit that made a little bit of sense, we might have could have had a little bit of a debate. Like if you would have came here and told me, hey Schwetzel, you remember when you used to effortlessly be able to dive to the bottom of the deep end of the swimming pool and come back up with no problem, and 9 times out of 10 you probably could sit at the bottom and blow bubbles or fucking fuck around on the bottom for a little bit or something. Now, when you go to the swimming pool, goddamn, you lucky if a motherfucker could even make it to the goddamn bottom and back to the top of the fucking deep end without goddamn having a fucking stress attack, feel like you're probably about to die. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you had never have fucking oh shit, if you ain't never if you ain't shit. Oh, 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 oh. If you ain't never accidentally swallowed at least a good fucking cup and a half of goddamn fucking swimming pool water, fucking you seen fucking you seen fucking Keisha's little badass kids already pissing in it and everything, but you still drink a cup and a half accidentally just for the simple fact that you probably needed to fucking breathe today at least one time, then shit, yeah, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. That's a combination of fucking cigarettes, liquor, dope smoke, all that. Since I was probably about fucking what I started smoking weed whenever I was 11. Cigarettes was before that for sure. I was probably fucking 8 or 9 when I smoked my first cigarette. Yeah. Famous Malo said breath work. Yeah, I know, man. You who you telling, bro? Trust me, I've put in a decent amount of work on that shit, bro. It just I do better with belly breathing rather than like full on fucking chest inhales. You get what I'm saying? Whenever I fucking whenever I have the whenever I do like the belly breathing technique where you only breathe through your fucking stomach and shit, I'm typically fine and my fucking breath is actually like really like can withstand a long period of time. Like holding breath and actually in the act of breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like I can inhale for long periods of time and exhale for pretty long periods of time and hold my breath for a good period of time. But when I'm doing that fucking chest breathing shit, if I breathe in even too deep into my chest, I'll probably start coughing. And not only that, trying to hold my breath with just simply only fucking chest inhale, yeah, that shit probably ain't gonna stay there for too long. You know what I'm saying? Bro be doing that lung cancer speed run. No, I ain't doing no lung cancer speed run. I'm gonna be fucking healthy all my days. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I program shit. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? Lung cancer don't even be caused by the shit that we be thinking it be getting caused from. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen this video not too long ago that was pretty fucking pretty interesting if I do say so myself. I was peeping this one shit that was like basically saying if you take notice, all of the European countries that smoke a heavy amount of cigarettes are incredibly healthy. You get what I'm saying? Because of their diet and the food that they eat. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody in none of these other countries, European and Asian countries and shit like that. No, don't none of them be getting lung cancer and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people in Italy, their like smoking culture is very prevalent over there. Same with like China, gambling and fucking smoking darts, bro. And even Thailand, like you'll fucking be seeing damn Buddhist monks uh smoking shit. You know what I'm saying? Uh that Schwetzel album Too Fire or Too Cold, Native and Eclectic hit hard. We got a random saying 1, you gonna die from smoking. 2, everyone in the chat is making fun of you. 3, your arguments are crap. We just gonna pass over that because we ain't even about to give that shit no time or space. I don't know what you talking about. But anyways, Diatomic says people's bodies be different and environments. There's mad people smoking till 80 and 90, and it's fine. Right, exactly. But that's the thing about it. Like I don't even be smoking like that for real. Like I keep a vape on me nowadays, you know, pretty much all the time. But fuck, there was a time in my life where fucking I smoked a lot of like I was a nicotine fiend pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And my bad, too high Tony Tone. I ain't give you no appreciation shit on that shit. How to develop strength while being too weak to quit the addiction of smoking. I smoke because I enjoy it. I've quit smoking plenty of times in my life. I've quit smoking weed. I've quit this shit. Plenty of stuff. And shit, I still smoke vapes and weed at the moment, but shit, I've got videos on my channel on how to beat addiction. I mean, you can go watch any of that shit if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'd be different if it was something that I couldn't put away or couldn't deal with. There's been plenty of times in my life where I've been broke and couldn't afford the shit and just had to go without. So, you know what I'm saying? Why are you talking so slowly? Are you high? Yeah, I'm high as fuck right now. I've been ripping the gingerman. You know what I'm saying? I've been ripping the resin cart. But yeah, diatomic is exactly right. Fucking people's bodies and environments are different, you know. Just depends what you want. I think it more so has to do with your diet though. You know what I'm saying? Diet is what really be causing a lot of illnesses due to, you know, manufactured shit. But I mean, same with cigarettes though. I mean, fuck, most of those places that I just named as being places where they don't have a lot of fucking cancer and people aren't dying of cancer and lung cancer like they are in America. I mean, I'm sure they make their cigarettes differently. It's probably not something that's exactly the same how it is here, where we have fucking corporations and FDA and all this crazy shit going on. Where, yeah, they essentially let them fucking put poisons in the shit and everything. Yeah, it's something about it. Like only a certain person can drink a Coca Cola a day and get to be close to 100. Right? Facts. Facts, 100%. That's why you see motherfuckers like Warren Buffett and goddamn Donald Trump. They entire diet is KFC and fucking Diet Coke, and you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say these are the healthiest people in the world, or they're like a fucking object of health that you should be looking up to, or some shit like that. But you know what I'm saying? They made their bread. They still living. Ain't neither one of them suffering from no serious illnesses that we know about. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, fuck. Same with my granny. She like fucking shit. How old is she? Nana. I think she just turned 82 this year. Big Nana in the cut. I mean, she been a beer drinker. She smoked her weed and shit like that from time to time. You know, nothing too crazy. I don't think she ever really smoked cigarettes or nothing like that. Obviously, I didn't know her when she was young, though. Like when I was born, my fucking Nana was already an old ass lady. You know what I'm saying? Why do we got weirdos in the chat today? And did I not put it on subscriber only? So y'all are subscribed and talking shit? What's going on? Talking about some turn on the lights. I want to be in the darkness right now. I didn't feel like looking for the remote to find the fucking what do you call it? Remote to turn on the lights. Didn't want to. Why would you subscribe to come in here and talk shit? This is the first time. Let this be known. This is an unprecedented event right here. This is the first time I've had trolls in my chat, and there's literally more than one of them. This is an unprecedented event right here. We need some like theme music or some shit. Like I could share my screen and pull up like some funny music or some shit like that, but I ain't even trying to do all that shit right now, bro. Shit, if I was like a fucking legit streamer or some shit, I could have like an auto key that could like fucking automatically pull up some shit and like maybe even fucking put on like some cheering shit and like maybe some like banner and fucking confetti in the background or something. And I'd be like, oh my god, we've experienced it. The first trolls in the chat. The first trolls in the chat. I don't know what y'all think y'all are accomplishing. Like, do y'all think y'all are gonna knock my hustle or my confidence or some shit? Like, you only making yourself look weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, all my flaws can just be out there. I really don't give a fuck what y'all think of me personally at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be dedicating myself to my art and my shit, my passions. Like I really could care less. Like y'all, you in the wrong channel for that. Like you're not going to get the attention. You're not going to get the argue, the pushback. Like, come on now. Okay, and so what? Yeah, like everyone starts somewhere. Everyone comes from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not I'm not pressed about anything that y'all on. What are my hustles? Don't worry about it. You obviously care though. You subscribe to talk shit. And this I person, by the way you talking, you probably like my ex-girlfriend or some shit. Not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. The way you talking, you sound like somebody I know. You like come on now, bro. I got a real life beyond the internet too, so like you're not going. There's nothing. I'm complete in every arena. I don't need your validation. You're just a person. I really couldn't give a fuck less. Let's be honest. Like you can look into my eyes and tell. Like you don't have to. That I'm not. Come on now, bro. I'm 25. I just started the internet shit. Just started it. So like, yeah, that's right. All I spend my money on is vapes. Because we had to subject troll you. Okay, what does that accomplish? I mean, I get the entertainment of getting to laugh at some goofy ass fucks who probably like I can't even imagine what your day to day life is like, and I wouldn't want to be quite honest with you. But yeah, like I get the entertainment of laughing at y'all, but like what does that accomplish for y'all? Like was you hoping that you could make me like unconfident or something? Like I genuinely just want to know like you was hoping that what? Like you was hoping what? You can make me question what I'm doing, or I'm not the one talking alone in a dark room. Yeah, see exactly. That's what it is. I found it. Y'all trying to make me question what I'm doing and shit. Like that's weird. Look at anybody that fucking turn on the lights so we can see the mess behind. I actually just cleaned my room, so you out of luck there. Yeah, you out of luck there. Bro on two accounts trolling me. No, let's get some real answers though. Like what do y'all think y'all are doing? It's been an hour 40 you talking alone. What time is it where you live? I don't even know. Sometime in the morning. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. LML too broke to pay electricity. Yeah, you're right. Let's get some real answers though. Like what are y'all hoping to accomplish? Cause y'all ain't affecting me as a person. Yeah, I work tonight actually, so I usually wake up in the morning time or around 3 p.m. and I start to make music, or in this case today, go live and interact with a bunch of fucking weird ass trolls who are in my channel for some reason, who subscribe just to talk shit and then go unsubscribe when the video's over. Weird. And then talking about show us your music. Suck dick, ho. If you want to see the music, go to the beginning of the video. I ain't doing anything on command for y'all, especially some trolls. My Cash App in the description though, so since I'm too broke to pay the electricity, if y'all want to hear some music, you can send me a donation to my Cash App. Yep. You ain't making no music for real. All right. Y'all just weirdos, bro. If I donate you 1 cent, can you turn on the lights? No, because the minimum you can donate on Cash App is $1. Dumbass. I just keep getting you, bro. I just keep stinging you. Shout out to the Scorpios. I'm in my fucking stinging bag. I just keep stinging you. You can't even donate 1 cent on Cash App, goofy. Yeah, you lost me there, buddy. Now I done got high. Like, to all the real people who is still here, who might have by chance stuck around, y'all done got me high. Now I'm sitting over here fucking talking crazy to the to the fucking goddamn to the bots in the chat, bro. Stop playing. Man's hit the goddamn. This man said $1 for the lights and the music. Okay. No, you can pay me and then I'll fucking probably turn the goddamn live stream off right in your face. No, not agreed. I'll fucking sit here and turn the live stream right off on you. You want to know why? Because you come in here playing. You trying to make me question what I'm doing and shit. You think I... Y'all came to the wrong place, bro. Y'all came to the wrong place. You think I give a fuck about that shit? Dude, I was in this bitch flexing with no viewers. You talk about me having 7 viewers right now. I was in this bitch flexing alone by myself with no viewers, sitting here going like this, reacting to my own shit in the chat. I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know if y'all can see that at all. But I was in this shit with no viewers, fucking spamming my own reactions. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I really, people's self-esteem and egos is getting exposed tour season for real. Facts. I mean, dude, like I said, this is the first time I've ever had I've ever had any trolls in my chat. I've never had anybody come in here and say shit, not anything negative at all. And that's been like a year since I started like really grinding and uploading on this channel. A whole year we made it. Well, no, more than a year, because I started in January of 2024. That's when I started like really uploading music, uploading live streams and shit. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had anything. He said $1 is a lot if you're willing to turn off your stream. No, $1 must be a lot to you. That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like $1 must be a lot to you. It seemed like, let's be quite honest, because you even coming out and putting it in that framework just already let me know like $1 would be a lot to you, because yeah, why would you even ask me that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that just don't make no sense. So you were as miserable as you currently are. I don't even know what you're referring to there. You probably talking about yourself being as miserable as you currently are. Cause shit, life ain't sunshine and rainbows, but I fucking make it that way. Get what I'm saying? Y'all talk a lot though. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm here. First and second haters. It's pointless to troll this guy. He's obviously high and got his brain fried. I'm just chilling, bro, to be quite honest. I'm not exactly fucking fried yet, but I mean, I did take a double blinky stinky, so I mean, I'm chilling, you know. GPA, how much GPA? Seemed like your GPA was pretty fucked from how you asking questions and shit like that. You don't even know how to place a sentence in a framework. You said how much GPA? My GPA was 0.2 in high school. 0.2. And then they said, I'm gonna leave, to be honest. Peace, guys. Thanks for coming in trolling. You gave us an unprecedented experience that we have never seen before. Holy shit. Fucking goddamn. Well, really, it was only 2 trolls. One of them just had 2 accounts. I swear I've seen this guy around fucking praising me before, though. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Back on the Pingy. Back on the. See, now I take 1 blinker and it doesn't even make me cough at all. Wow, that was wild though. I've never had that. I've had people leave comments in my videos before talking shit. People that I know too, like a couple times. People that I know. It's pretty funny actually. But yeah, no, I've never had that shit. I've never had motherfuckers come up in here acting crazy. Man was just trying to act wild. Man said $1 a lot for you, isn't it? Yeah, $1 a fuck ton of money, dude. Holy shit, that's so fucking much. That's so fucking much cash, dude. And they said I'm too broke to afford electricity. How the fuck would I be streaming? How would I even be streaming, dude? That's pretty funny. Pretty funny to me. But shit, man, we pretty much ain't got nothing else to talk about. I don't know why I interacted with the troll so long. That's usually unlike me, but I just thought it was pretty funny. Anybody else who's fucking stuck around for this long, any questions, anything to add on, y'all hit it up. We'll stay here for another minute or two. If there ain't nothing, we'll dip out. Because I am gonna get some rest again before work. And fucking also, I do need to check the laundry. The landry. What do y'all know about the landry? I don't know nothing about the fucking landry. Yeah. I think I got an idea for my next video just now. How to win in every scenario. Anyways, y'all, seems like fucking things are coming to a slow halt here. We're almost at 2 hours. I'm gonna go take care of this laundry. Fucking get me another vape since this one is fucked off. And roll out of here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the fucking trolls coming in and showing us another side of the YouTube game. Y'all take it easy. Peace, love, and we'll see you later.